Here is a, I think it was a 1917 on the blade. 1917 Westinghouse. Actually, it's probably 1914 because it's early enough to have the centrifugal start switch and the brass cage. This one I finished up for a customer. I did not do the paint, he did that. I just rewired it, put new head wire, new start switch and everything because it was missing that. And then some of these and cleaned it up. Polished the brass a little bit so that way it looks a little better. It was already polished, but it was a little dulled. One blade on the back looks crazy, but I can't really find it. Other than that, cord and everything has been replaced. This came out of Kansas City. It has a stamping. And this thing runs pretty good. I still need to do some more tests because the start switch I had to glue back together, and I had to put a plate on the bottom since it broke off, so I had to make my own. And one of the gears has a chip in it, so just starting out. It used to shake. It kind of shakes still, but not as bad. That's on low. I'm not 100% sure. The neck is pretty loose and I wasn't able to repair that. They're a pain in the ass, but it oscillates. Just I don't know if I would leave it oscillating. Just pull up on the oscillator. But for this size of fan, these move a lot of air. I'd love to find another one of these that's original. I got it balanced enough where it barely shakes at all. Even on the motor. Barely have a difference between like wattage. It's kind of funny. With the amount of air movement, you might as well just run it on high all the time. Runs barely fast. Honestly, the most efficient speed on this is probably medium. High, you draw more, but barely increase RPM, maybe like 100. But on medium, you're low enough to where you still get a decent amount of air movement, and it's slightly slower. I would just use it on this speed. I had to use one of my fans as a parts fan. It was already parts anyways, but I just took the start switch out and the springs and everything. I should have grabbed one from another parts fan I saw, but I didn't. Which would have been a smart idea, but yeah, whatever, you live and learn. Surprisingly, I've worked on a lot of these. I don't like them, especially working on them. Luckily with these head wires I can just pull out, but they are a pain in the ass to pull a stator. And you have a tool made since I practically work on these so much. But it's relatively quiet for how large it is. I mean, back in the day, this is not a bad fan, especially compared to some Emersons of this time, of 1914. This one is probably ahead of its time. Just the design of the motor is not that great. They use stamped steel, which cast iron would have been easier to get out. But when they went over to the non-centrifugal start fans, they actually, most of the time, they're running. Sometimes they have burnt coils down there, but that's usually from other people messing with it. The centrifugal start ones are kind of iffy, like this one, but that worked pretty well. So it has a good spin down time. And with the balanced blade, it won't shake up obnoxiously. I had one that this was before I knew how to balance blades, and it shook like crazy. It wasn't anything, it was like a different version. It didn't have the brass cage, I would have kept it, but it shook like crazy. But there you go, thanks for watching, and that's the 3-speed 16-inch oscillator Westinghouse. I think sometimes you can tell from the blade. Right there. There's a stamp number on it. It's really hard for me to tell, but most of the time it's either 1911 or 1912 on the tank fans, like that. It'll be on the back. The earlier, if there's, I think 1910 was, or 1911 was when they started doing that. After that, you couldn't tell, but it's pretty easy with tanks. It's either 1909 or 11, or 1909 and 10, and then the 11s were later. This is a Hawthorne, so it's way better, but it would have a stamp badge like this, or a flat badge. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see the new head wire. I did not have a grommet for here, which stinks, but it's gonna be mounted on a shelf. I put this on there to keep it from fraying, and it worked out. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.